Hello everybody. Today our lesson is will be talking about water, water, water. One of the most important resources in our community is water. Uses of water. I use water for taking a bath. I use water for taking a bath. I use water for drinking. I use water for drinking. I use water for watering plants. I use water for watering plants. I use water for cooking foods. I use water for cooking foods. I use water for cleaning our home. I use water for cleaning our home. Source of water. We have two sources of water. Source of water. Sources of water. Nature source and human-made source. Nature source is not made by human, like puddle, waterfall, waterfall, rain, rain. Human-made source is made by human. Water faucet, water faucet, water pump, water pump. How does water reach home? First from rain to the river, then to the water station, then to pipes, then to water faucet. Let's see this video.
At Southeast Water, we deliver water to over 1.6 million people in Melbourne, which adds up to delivering over 350 million litres of clean, fresh drinking water to everyone. Once the water has been used, we then collect it again to clean and treat, collecting 330 million litres per day. Southeast Water has more than 23,000 kilometres of pipe to move all this water to and from your homes. If extended out straight, the pipe would reach from the South to North Pole. So we have to make sure our pipes aren't leaking or blocked to make sure no one goes without water. Because having a steady supply of clean, fresh water is so precious, a dam was built up in the hills a long way from the city. This protected catchment, built away from any roads or buildings, collects and stores the water when it rains, providing Melbourne with some of the best drinking water in the world. The dam holds the water there until we need to use it for things like drinking, taking a shower, washing our clothes, watering our garden, and flushing the toilet. Once you've finished using it, we take the dirty water, called sewage, away. This sewage isn't just from the toilet. Anything in your home that uses water will leave through one sewerage pipe that will join into a network of pipes underneath our roads. But these pipes don't just lead to the ocean, because that would pollute and damage the environment. Instead, the sewerage pipes lead to a sewage treatment plant where we clean the water so that it's safe to recycle or return to the ocean. The sewage from your house flows to a sewage treatment plant through a huge network of pipes. It does this by gravity, like how a river flows from the mountains to the ocean. When the pipe starts getting too deep, pump stations pump the sewage back up to ground level, so it can continue to flow downhill to the treatment plant. But sometimes the wrong things end up going into the pipes. Things like nappies, oils, food, and even toys end up in there and can cause the pipes to block. And no one wants their pipes to block, or there's nowhere for the sewage to go. Once the sewage arrives at the sewage treatment plant, it undergoes 4 stages of treatment. The first stage is to filter out the rubbish. Screens remove big items that have mistakenly made it into the sewer, like nappies, baby wipes, cotton buds, and fruit stickers. Next, we need to take out things like dirt, grit, and sand by creating a vortex. All the heavy things in the sewage move to the outside of the vortex and sink to the bottom. Stage 2 is sedimentation to remove sludge, which is made up of solids like poo and toilet paper. The sewage is allowed to settle, causing the fats to float to the top and the solids to sink to the bottom. Scraper blades scrape across the top and bottom of the tank to remove the sludge. The sludge is then moved into a digester where bugs eat all the yucky things out. The sewage system relies on many different types of bugs such as bacteria, viruses, and algae to break down the waste. They live inside us, in our poo, and in the sewage system. Like when you leave a banana in your school bag over the holidays and it begins to break down. These good bugs are so small you would need a microscope to see them, but they are perfect at breaking down the sewage. When we open the digester 16 days later, we are left with something like dirt, which is then dried and buried on site. Phase 3 at the treatment plant is to use good bugs to break down the dirty water that's left. To take the impurities out of the water, we also use bugs that naturally occur in the sewage. The sewage then moves through different tanks, with different types of good bugs living in them. Some tanks have lots of air bubbled through them, and some have no air. These bugs break down and eat the impurities like wee, soap, and shampoo, to leave behind water that is almost clean. The fourth and final stage is where the water is put through ultrafiltration membranes, or very fine filters. We then add a dose of chlorine, like in a swimming pool, and use ultraviolet light from the sun to kill any germs and bugs that are still in the water. After it's disinfected, the treatment process is completed, and the water can safely be released back into the environment, or recycled to farms, businesses, and some homes around the city. Recycled water always comes from a purple pipe or tap. You can't drink or shower with it, but there are many things it is safe to do with it. You can water your garden, flush your toilet, and wash your car with it. It can also be used to water crops on farms and to keep footy ovals green. Nature has its own water cycle where it recycles water over and over again, and so recycling water is our way of doing the same thing. By recycling water, we can keep using water outside even when we don't get much rain, and leave our precious clean water for drinking. Please remember, love every drop.
Again, how does water reach our home? First from rain to river, and from river to water station, and from water station to pipes, and from pipes to water faucets. Filtering water. You don't drink the water right out of a river or other natural source because we need to make sure it's safe to drink. So we build system to clean the water. It's called water station.
We will now perform an activity To learn about the process of filtration, take soil and water mixture in a glass beaker. Now take a small piece of cotton cloth. Take another glass beaker and put the cloth on top of it. Now pour the mixture through the cloth. What do you observe? You will observe that soil particles remained in the cloth while the water passes through the cloth and gets collected in the second beaker. Do you know why? This is because cotton cloth acts as a filter. Let us learn how a cotton cloth acts as a filter. In a piece of cloth, small holes or pores are there in between the woven threads. It is actually these small pores that act as a filter. The soil particles are bigger in size than these pores, so they cannot pass through these pores and remain in the cloth, while water molecules, being smaller than the pore size of the cloth, can easily pass through the cloth. Thus, by using a filter, we can separate out components of a mixture. We have learnt that clothes act as a filter. Apart from clothes, a filter paper is another type of filter that has very fine pores in it. Let us learn how to filter substances by using a filter paper. A filter paper is folded in the form of a cone. This folded filter paper is fixed onto a funnel. The mixture to be separated is then poured on the filter paper. Solid particles in the mixture do not pass through it and remain on the filter, while the liquid can easily pass through it and gets separated from the solid particles. In this way, we can filter liquid from a mixture by using a filter paper.
This experiment, we can do it in our home to filter the water. Thank you and goodbye.